Good morning, everyone. Please join me for Old Canada, followed by a moment of quiet contemplation. Okay, thank you. Please be seated. Boy, what a beautiful day out there. So we'll get right into it. Jonathan, if you can do the roll call, please.
Thank you, Warden. We have all members of council in attendance with a couple of exceptions. Deputy Warden Coughlin sends her regrets with alternate councillor Anita Moore in attendance. And Councillor Norris sends his regrets with alternate councillor Gerard LaChapelle in attendance. And you have your quorum. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you. I'll look for approval of the agenda. Councillor Dolan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Moore, alternate Councillor Moore, that the agenda for May the 13th, 2025 meeting of County Council be approved.
Any questions arising from the agenda? Not seeing any. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Do I have a disclosure of pecuniary interest by any member of council? If you find yourself in that situation later, please declare it at that time. And presentations and delegations, well, we actually do. We have our paramedic for the week today. May 18th to the 25th marks National Paramedic Services Week, a time to celebrate the outstanding first responders that we have not only here in Simcoe County, but all across this wonderful country. This year's theme, we care for everyone. And anybody that's met our paramedics certainly know that's their feeling. They go far above and beyond their everyday duties, whether it be volunteering or toy drives and all the extra, and the care that they give the patients. Here in Simcoe County, our paramedics are absolutely second to none. Before I read the proclamation, I also want to express my gratitude for not only the work they do, the fundraising, but unfortunately some of the hardships they put up with now in today's world, which we all agreed unanimously is not acceptable. So our heart also goes out to our hardworking paramedics and what they face every day. And now I'll read the proclamation to designate May 18th to 25th, 2025 as Paramedic Services Week. Whereas paramedic services in Ontario are a vital public service, and whereas members of the paramedic services team are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas paramedic services in Ontario recognize the role support staff play in meeting this vital public service. And whereas access to quality emergency and supportive health care dramatically improves the survival, recovery rate, and the quality of life of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas the members of paramedic services team, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continue education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of all paramedic service providers by designated Paramedic Services Week. Therefore, I, Warden Basil Clark, on behalf of Simcoe County Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 18th to 25th, 2025 as Paramedic Services Week with the theme of We Care for Everyone. I request all communities in the County of Simcoe to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. And with that, I would actually ask General Manager St. Clair and Sarah Mills to come on up.
Good morning, everyone. Through your worship, as the warden noted, May 18th marks the beginning of National Paramedic Services Week, a time where we recognize and celebrate our outstanding County of Simcoe Paramedic Services team. These dedicated professionals are the steady hands and compassionate hearts behind every emergency response, providing critical care where it matters most. While it's true that the demands of their work are immense, they continually rise above to achieve the highest standard of care for those in need. This week is an opportunity to recognize and honor their extraordinary efforts through a number of employee recognition activities and by attending some community events. I'd now like to invite Director-in-Chief Sarah Mills to introduce our paramedic for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, General Manager Sinclair, and through you, Your Worship. As part of our annual Paramedic Services Week celebrations, each year we host a grade 5 and 6 student throughout Simcoe County to draft an essay speaking to the National Paramedic Services Week theme, which is, as the warden noted, this year is We Care for Everyone. I'd now invite our honor guard to please escort in our winner. It's my pleasure to introduce this year's Paramedic for a Day winner, Faith Knutson, a grade 5 student from École Élémentaire Catholique St. Louis in Penetanguishene. It's my understanding that you will read your winning entry with us. Is that all right? All right, I'll put this down for you.
Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be a brave firefighter. I also wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be those things especially because they help people. Doctors, firefighters, paramedics, and police never stop looking for solutions no matter what happens. Ever since my sister was born, she's had a life-limiting sickness. When we went to events with her and other kids like her, it inspired me to help children with special needs. Later on, my sister stopped eating. Doctors had to give her a G-tube, a tube that goes directly into her stomach so she can eat. I am so thankful for the doctors that put the G-tube in her stomach. Without them, my sister wouldn't be able to eat anymore. That is only one of the many reasons why I'm determined to care for everyone, just like how the doctors cared for my little sister. One of the ways I care for others is by playing with kids in the special needs class at my school. I give them hugs and ask for their opinions to consider what they would like or want. Another way I care for others is by being partners with people who, when I see them, don't have one. At home, I make sure I spend time with my neighbor since her husband just recently passed away. I don't want her to feel lonely. Thank you for caring for everyone. Now I will continue to care for others.
So So I think you can all see why Faith Century was selected. I'd now invite the warden to join us as we swear in our paramedic for a day. Yep. You are now ready to serve your community. I'd now ask that the Honor Guard escort Faith out to carry out her duties, which include taking part in a mock scenario first thing this morning. You want to take that? All right.
Okay, now I'll move on with our consent agenda. Councillor Burkett, please.
Good morning, through you, your worship. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Norcross, that the council communications and proclamations, April the 22nd, 2025 to May the 12th, 2025 have been given due consideration, be received.
Everybody's heard the motion. Any questions? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And I just realized I don't have my deputy warden here, so the adoption of the council minutes and confirmation of the committee reports. Councillor Dolan, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McDonald that the following council minutes be confirmed and adopted and committee of the whole reports be confirmed. County Council minutes, April 22nd, 2025. Committee of the whole report, April 22nd, 2025.
Any questions arising from the minutes? Not seeing any, so all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. So the committee of the whole reports now. Chair Evans, please.
Thank you, Your Worship, and good morning, Council. Performance Management Report for April 22nd of 2025, moved by myself, seconded by Alternate Councillor LaChapelle, that the performance management recommendations contained within the Committee of the Whole Report dated April 22nd, 2025 be approved. Back to you, Warden.
Any items to be pulled from performance management? Not seeing any, so all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Chair Measures.
Good morning, Your Worship. From the Human Services section of the Committee of the Whole Report from April the 22nd, that the Human Services, the resolution is moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Brian Smith, that the Human Services recommendations contained within the Committee of the Whole Report dated April the 22nd, 2025 be approved.
Any items to be pulled from Human Services? Not seeing any, so all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And Chair Dolan, corporate, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Miskamings that corporate services recommendations contained within the Committee of the Whole report April 22nd, 2025 be approved.
Any items to be pulled from corporate services? Not seeing any, so all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And now I have the Governance Committee, and I've got a motion that the Governance Committee recommendations contained within the following Governance Committee reports dated April 29, 2025 be approved. Governance Committee report, April 29, 2025. Governance Committee confidential report, April 29, 2025. Moved by Councillor Fowler, second by Councillor Brian Smith. Any questions on the governance? I will highlight that we are meeting now next Tuesday to deal with the weighted vote and also the hybrid option on recommendations that we'll bring back on the 27th. So any other questions or all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Presentations and considerations of county officers report. We have none. Motions of which notice has been previously given, but I believe the notice of motion has been withdrawn that we had that was previously given. So now I have notices of motion, none, and closed session I have none. So the consideration of the bills. Councillor Norcross, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, of course, moved by myself, second by Councillor Burkett, that bill number 712725, be applied as a bylaw of the County of Simcoe. Thank you. I forgot my glasses, so I apologize to everybody.
I'm in the same boat, a full crowded room and a big long speech to read and no glasses.
Your Worship, I can see now. Thanks, Councillor Burkett. These are wonderful.
On the bills, any questions? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Announcements. There is a blood pressure clinic being held in the atrium out here this morning, so I think we have some garbage issues on our agenda later, so you might want to wait till after the garbage discussion to go out and have your blood pressure checked. But be sure to take time to swing out there after the Committee of the Whole. Any other announcements? Councillor Fryer.
Thank you, Warden Clark, and good morning. I wanted to share with Council some Collingwood news in regards to next week's YIMBY Week. Spearheaded by our housing team staff and our Affordable Housing Task Force, in conjunction with Simcoe County's initiative, a series of events are planned all week long. We have a flag raising at the beginning of the week, and then the theme this year is, of a talk series we're going to do on one of the evenings is Yes, in My Backyard, Here We Grow Again. And then on the Saturday, our farmers market starts up, and we have, at the town booth, we have our Affordable Housing Task Force. And it's all about speaking to the benefits of new housing initiatives and trying to deal with the perceived negative impacts and educate our community as much as we can on those overall benefits of having that increased intensification within our boundaries. Better transit, for example, is one of them. So what I was going to offer, because it's noted in the release of the county that Redwork Parks offers a kit. We work with Redwork Parks at the start, but if anybody wanted to reach out to our housing coordinator, DeSouza, she's more than welcome to speak to them about those initiatives and any information she can give. And everybody might remember her from the recent OSAM conference when the panel was held on affordable housing, and she was one of the members of that panel, along with our task force members. So I wanted to share those things because I know it's important to the county that the YIMBY is put out there, and I'm letting you know what Collingwood's doing and offering if anybody wants to learn from ours. Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Cox.
Good morning. I just wanted to let everyone know that the Coldwater Lions Club duck race is on May 31st. There'll be 9,000 little yellow ducks going down the river. It's a good fundraiser. It's for our Lions Club, and it's lots of fun. People come all the time. There's a parade at 12:30, and the ducks get dumped in the river at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Perfect. Councillor Fryer.
I just remembered that I forgot something because the Birch Street project that we just had approved a couple of weeks ago by County Council. Colin was very, very thankful for that. But it's a very good example of YIMBY. We had a difficult time with the residents as we started to plan the initiative, and through the efforts of county staff and our staff, it's been a very much more receptive situation because we've taken the concerns into account, and I want to thank the county again for all that. But it's a real good Yimby success story for Collingwood. I want to share that.
Thank you. Councillor Dolan.
Thank you so much, Your Worship. Some bad news and some good news. I'll start with the bad news. Unfortunately, yesterday, there was a fire in, we believe, in the AC unit on the roof of our major Innisfil Recreation Center, and we were very thankful that everybody was evacuated safely. The investigation is still in the early stages, but it could be a fairly lengthy delay before a return to full services, which will have quite an impact on our community because there's 2 rinks, both that have summer ice. It's our YMCA that runs summer camps, and also our local gym and recreation center. So thank you for everybody who reached out yesterday, and I'm sure if there's any coordination from neighboring municipalities as far as any unallocated use that we might be able to have our recreation committees talk to each other, that would be very helpful. So thank you in advance for anyone who can help. And then on a good news story, I just want to take a moment to thank the town of Collingwood for putting on a superb OSAM conference, April 30th, May 1st and 2nd. The content was wonderful. The study tours were well attended. There was record attendance at that conference, and everybody went away feeling what wonderful hosts the town of Collingwood are. So thank you very much for that. And if you would pass on my thanks to Councillor Deb Doherty, who had a significant role to play. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements? I'm not seeing any, so we'll look for the confirmatory bylaw. Councillor Norcross, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, of course, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rawson, that bill number 712825 be enacted as a bylaw of the County of Simcoe. Thank you.
All in favor?
Thank you.
That is carried. And lastly, that the May 13th, 2025 meeting of County Council be adjourned at 9:22. Moved by Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Laux. All in favor? That is carried. And I guess, hot as it is in here, why don't we roll right into our committee of the whole? If somebody wants to let the city reps know, please. Okay, I'll look to my clerk for a roll call, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. In addition to the members of council in attendance, we're joined by city representatives, Aurelia Councillor Durnford, Aurelia Mayor McIsaac, Barrie Councillor Nagusi, Barrie Mayor Nuttall, and Barrie Councillor Rietma, with Aurelia Councillor Fowlis and Barrie Councillor Hamilton absent, and you have your quorum. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you, Jonathan. I'll look for the approval of the agenda. Councillor Dolan.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McClellan that the agenda for May 13th, 2025 meeting of the Committee of the Whole be approved.
Any questions about the agenda? Not seeing any. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Do I have a disclosure of pecuniary interest by any member of council? Again, if you find yourself in that situation later, please declare it at that time. Presentations and delegations for the all sections, we have none this morning, so I will turn it over to Chair Measures for Human Services.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Good morning, Council and Committee. Human Services, section number 5. Our first item is our consent items. There are 2 items on here. 5.1 is the activation of emergency shelters for adverse weather, and 5.2 is the Paramedic Services Week. We care for everyone. Does anybody have any questions or concerns or asks about this? About these 2 items? All right, seeing none. I'll just make a quick comment. It's always good to have more paramedics. So that was great to have our young paramedic join us today, wasn't it? At this time, I'll read the recommendation with mover and seconder. Could I like for a mover and seconder? Mr. Laux and Anita Moore, who is our alternate counselor. Thank you. Will be the seconder. I was going to call you Miss Moore, but I thought I'd just go with Anita. How's that? That the following consent items, having been given due consideration, be received. Any questions? All in favor? Thank you. That carries. Item number 6 under Human Services, the Long-Term Care Committee of Management. Item number 6.1 is the hiring more nurses practitioners for long-term care. GM Sinclair is available for any questions, if anybody has any. Yes, Councillor Cox.
Yep. Mine's not actually a question. It's a comment on how wonderful this is to have the nurse practitioners in long-term care. And I was just wondering maybe if Jane could give a little overview for our everybody out there that because long-term care homes are very important to families, and they are always sort of sometimes get a lot of negative, and I just want everyone to know how these nurse practitioners and our homes are well looked after. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for those comments. We're very, very pleased to have nurse practitioners in our 4 long-term care homes and senior services. We advocated through County Council for many years for funding to support this adjunct of service. And we're very, very fortunate to have them. They are a wonderful bridge between our nursing team and our primary care physician team. They provide bedside care and assessment, really provide an additional level of service that really bodes well for the clients that we serve in our long-term care homes. We currently, in our current model, have funding to support a part-time nurse practitioner in each of our 4 locations. And so it really is something that we're providing in all 4 of our locations, and very, very pleased. Thank you for those comments.
Thank you, Councillor Cox, and thank you, GM Sinclair. Is there any other questions to this item? All right, seeing none, I'll ask for the mover of Councillor Cox and the seconder, Mr. LaChapelle, our alternate councillor. Thank you. That item CCW 2025-090 dated May 13, 2025 regarding hiring more nurse practitioners for long-term care be received. All those in favor? Thank you, that carries. 6.2 is emergency repair to Simcoe Village Elevator. GM Sinclair is also available for any questions or concerns about this item. Does anybody have any questions? Glad to get this repaired, right? I'll take a mover and seconder on the floor, Mr. Fowler and Mr. Brian Smith. Thank you. And that's item CCW 2025-127, dated May 13, 2025, regarding emergency repair to the Simcoe Village Elevator be received. And that the funds for the Simcoe Village Elevator repair be transferred from the Simcoe Village Reserve. All right, all in favor? And that carries unanimously. All right, looking ahead to 6.3, which Simcoe Village Campus Project Update. GM Sinclair is also available to that. Would you like to speak to that at all, GM Sinclair?
Through you, Mr. Chair. If it pleases council, we can pull up the schedule with a few of the photos. I can provide very quick overview of some of the highlights. It is a very exciting project. It's progressing very well. I'm wondering if our clerk staff could pull up the schedule, and I'll just provide some quick highlights. We continue to work with the Ministry of Long-Term Care. That is going very well for the long-term care component of the project. The schedule significant progress is being made. We did encounter a bit of a delay during the winter months
council will recall, we had a very unusual winter this past year, and because of the additional snow, et cetera, we did get behind a little bit, complicated by some of the work moving into the half-load season. However, the team is working diligently to try and make up time over the summer and fall, and we will provide a further update in the fall. In terms of our tender results, we have now issued and closed the last tender of Phase 1, which is the landscape works, and we're seeing further positive results. Initially, we anticipated a 1.9% overage with the completion of all of our tenders. It later reduced to 1.24%, and we're now looking at approximately 1.1% overage as a result of all of the tenders from our Phase 1. And just a quick reminder, we do have a contingency in place, construction contingency, where we're working about 33% of that contingency, and we're actually 35% complete in the construction component. Phase 2 will be the demolition of the existing site. Phase 3 will be the last component, just as a reminder, and that will be the co-housing facility, the Golden Girls, Golden Guys facility, and our town and garden homes. And with that, I'll quickly run through the slides. So on the screen, at the very top, the white building is the first level of the long-term care home. And to the left of it, you can see there's two overhangs kind of jutting out. Those are the two main entrances, one for long-term care, one for the village center. The bottom photo is the interior of the long-term care building, and that's the front administration office area. Next slide, please. This next photo at the very top of the screen is the front of the community center. I think we're calling it Bees Landing. And you can see the overhang closest to in the forefront. That is for the community center entranceway, and then the other overhang to the right is for the long-term care. And then when you look at the bottom of that photo, that is the back of the community center. Next slide, please. So here we're starting to see on page 3, a photo at the top of the screen of one of the two towers. So this is the affordable and supportive housing tower. It will be 5 levels in total. 6 levels in total. The second tower is 5 levels. And you can see the cement structure leading to the building. That's the actual link, the physical link that people can walk from the community center into the tower. And at the bottom, that's the back part of the tower you can see, different angle. The next page, at the top of the screen, you can see again, on the left is the community center. You can see the link again towards the first tower, supportive and affordable housing. And the area that's covered in snow, that will be raised gardens, pathways, et cetera, for the residents to enjoy. And at the bottom, again, a different angle from the back part of the tower. And the last slide, this is the life lease and retirement living. So this is 5 levels. You can see the 2 levels starting to build. And at the bottom, again, a different angle. In the forefront of the photo, that's the actual link, again, from the community center that leads into the second tower where there's life lease units and retirement living units. And I think that's it for the photos that we've included. Thank you very much, Chair.
Well, thank you very much, GM Sinclair. Certainly the theme of the county at this time is building up, and so we're building 2 towers. So that looks pretty great. I saw a question from Mayor Nuttall. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much. And obviously this is really new, but this morning there was a bill tabled in Queen's Park with relation to long-term care and the automatic waiver of DCs for all long-term care units going forward. My question would be, recognizing that there will be signed agreements with something that's already built at this point, when we're building long-term care units in the county of Simcoe, are development charges paid like any other project would be, or are they waived in each of our LTC builds within the county?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the development charges are waived because we're a municipal government, level of government.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, thank you. Good question. And are there other members with questions? Nope, no further questions. A very exciting project. Certainly look forward to that, wrapping up, and I'm sure it'll serve our residents well. At this time, I do have the recommendation here in front of me. Could I look for Councillor McClellan? Would you like to forward that? And perhaps Councillor Lavoie, would you second that? Thank you very much. That item CCW 2025-133 dated May 13, 2025 regarding the Simcoe Village Campus project update be received. All those in favor? Thank you. That carries unanimous as well. Thank you again to GM Sinclair for that update. At this time, I'm at item number 7, which is other matters for consideration. I'll look to the floor. Are there any other matters for consideration? All right, seeing none, I will turn the chair back to His Worship. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
I'm sorry, was there someone? Mr. Nuttall, did you have something else?
Not for consideration. I just wanted to highlight, I'm not sure if it wasn't properly communicated from the City of Barrie to the County of Simcoe that Councillor Hamilton is not representing the City of Barrie anymore in this committee. We haven't filled the vacancy, but I just don't want it to show up as an absent each time when that's not fair to Councillor Hamilton. Thank you.
Perhaps we'll ask the clerk to look into that. Thank you very much for that, sir.
Yeah, we will make a note of that. I remember you telling us her work schedule changed, so yes, we will certainly make a note of that. Next, I'll turn it over to Chair Dolan for corporate services, please.
Thank you. We're on item 8.1, which is County Road 54, Innisfil Tributary Culvert Replacement, Project Budget Update, and Temporary Road Closure. Are there any questions or comments on this item? I did have a couple of questions, if I could. First of all, a request through you, Jim Elliott, that staff from the county reach out and engage South Simcoe Police before and during the construction, the 20 weeks. We had a traffic safety committee at the local level last week, and our traffic manager from South Simcoe Police was interested and had a few questions about the detour routes. And certainly they did learn a lot from last year's closure of County Road 4 in Bradford, and wanted to pass on what they learned to the county. And then secondly, the report states that temporary signalization at County Road 4 on the 6th line during construction, and then permanent signalization when the road widening and reconstruction is done on that piece. And my question is, will those back up to each other, or will there be temporary signals and then no signals and then signals again?
Thank you, Chair Dolan. First off, absolutely, we will connect with South Simcoe Police, and we did learn a lot from our recent road closure in Bradford. I'm going to turn it over to Director Mealy about the timing of the signalization, though, for that particular question.
Thank you, GM Elliott, and back to the chair. Good morning, everybody. The temporary signals will be in place up until the point where the permanent signals are completed. There'll be no gap there.
That's wonderful news, because one of the biggest lessons I learned is that you don't give people something and then take it away from them. So with that, is there any other questions? Councillor Leduc.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Maybe a quick question as to why we're looking at a 20-week closure. Just wondered, when we did the closure at 10th Line in Bradford, we had shortened the time frame for the full closure, and it was because it was a cost savings to do that. So I'm just questioning what the reasoning between the two different projects, because we're talking about full closure for 20 weeks, if that's what I'm reading. So just wondered why, because this came in at 850,000 over budget. So I wondered if there was a potential savings there if we went with a work schedule like they had for the County Road 4.
GM Elliott.
Yeah, through the chair, I'm going to ask Director Mealy to speak to that.
Thank you, through the chair. The project actually very similar to the work that was done on County Road 4 there last year. If we were to leave the road open and stage the construction, it would be quite a bit more expensive. This does provide a cost saving, and it is a little bit more complicated, and that is directly adjacent to the 5th line intersection. So there's going to be some additional complication that will require some additional time. But 20 weeks is a relatively short duration for this type of work.
Thank you. Councillor Anderson.
Thank you. Just have a question through the chair with regards to the overage. Is there a 20% contingency still built within the budget here for this project, or is this has that been adjusted to account for the overage in 850,000?
Through the chair, the contingencies are still built within this, and we have good reason to believe that that would be the absolute upset limit on this project, and there's a good likelihood that we'll come in under the requested amount.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, moved by Councillor Leduc and seconded by Councillor Anderson, that item CCW 2025-1, oops, wrong one, dash 132, dated May 13th, 2025, regarding County Road 54, 10 Side Road, Innisfil tributary culvert replacement within the town of Innisfil, be received, and that the project budget increase of $850,000 as a result of higher than anticipated construction bids and the addition of temporary signals to support detour operations be approved as generally outlined within item number CCW 2025-132. That the request outlined within item CCW 2025-132 temporarily close County Road 54, 10 Side Road, and Innisfil tributary culvert within the town of Innisfil for the total duration of 20 weeks in 2022 be approved. All those in favor of the recommendation? Any opposed? That is carried. Next is item 9.1, which is the multi-residential organics program. Questions or comments on the pilot or the recommendation? Councillor Fryer.
Thank you, Chair Dole. And no blood pressure problem here at all. I wanted to just say through General Manager Elliott to Mr. McCullough how much we appreciate. It's quite evident with the 15 pilot situation that 9 are Collingwood. There's a keen interest in the Collingwood area and has been. So at the beginning of term, I was asking quite a few questions, trying to find out how this was coming along, and it's proceeded exactly the way that it was planned, and I'm very supportive of the initiative going forward. And as always, and I know the staff know this, if there's, because of Collingwood's keen interest, if there's anything we can do to try to supplement things, make them better, make them work better, please let us know, and we'll make every effort, because the interest is there with our residents, that's for sure. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I just had one, and I just want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. So with the pilot, it was done on a, like, the units, the multi-res units were asked to volunteer first, and then the reduction I was a little disappointed in. I thought it would have been a bigger difference in that, and I guess my concern is if those are buildings that were keen and wanted to do it, and the reduction was small, I worry about ones that aren't so keen. So I guess my question is, it'll be still strictly on a volunteer basis. There'll be no, we won't be requiring any multi-res to do organics collection if it doesn't fit for them. Thank you, Jim Elliott.
Correct, back to the chair. That is the approach. It's going to be on a voluntary basis.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, could I ask for a mover and a seconder, please, to put this forward? Councillor Snell and Councillor Michael Smith. That item CCW 2025-110, dated May 13th, 2025, regarding multi-residential organics program be received, and that a county-wide multi-residential organics program be approved as generally outlined in item CCW 2025-110. All those in favor? That is carried. Are there any, nope, sorry. Now I'll invite CAO Aiken to introduce Wendy Timpano, Senior Economic Development Officer, to provide a presentation regarding the Tariff Action Plan.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And yeah, this was a report and presentation that was made at the Economic Development Subcommittee, and the committee felt it good information and asked if Wendy would come forward and present the same info to council. So welcome, Wendy.
Good morning, Your Worship, councillors. Thank you for the opportunity to present the Tariff Action Plan to you today, a collaboration of the Economic Development Office and Tourism Simcoe County. The slides that will be presented were presented at the Economic Development Subcommittee on April 22nd, and the plan and the presentation are meant to complement as well the report that was previously provided at the March 11th Economic Development Subcommittee meeting that addressed the economic risks of tariffs. So the Tariff Action Plan was developed with input from many sources, as you can see on this slide here, including survey responses, member municipalities, of course, partner municipalities, roundtables, briefings, government sources. We've also collaborated with many municipalities through our involvement in various organizations, as you can see on this slide here. The Tariff Action Plan includes 6 key areas of focus, and I will go through each of those areas of focus and share with you a few of the highlights in terms of what we're proposing as activities and are undertaking already through these various areas of focus. At the end, I'll also share with you a little bit about the activities and what we're seeing in terms of results as well. So the first area of focus is business outreach and support. We are, as part of that area of focus, is our tariff resource webpage. That includes a lot of information about various learning resources, government funds, government resources. It's a very comprehensive list of things that businesses can access and communities. It is on the edo.simcoe.ca website. We're also working towards building awareness about opportunities to diversify supply chains. We're fielding tariff inquiries, and whether that's internally or externally, and looking to provide the necessary connections, resources that will help address those. We are also will support the ongoing review of county procurement policies as needed, and support opportunities for Buy Canadian and Buy Local. The second area of focus, as you can see on the right-hand side of the slide there, is workforce alignment. Essentially, we want to make sure that we understand relevant workforce impacts. So we're following the media, we're following social news feeds, trying to make sure that we can respond to community changes and workforce impacts as needed. The third area of focus there is economic development network collaboration and research. This includes the Tariff Impact Survey that was developed and launched in partnership with the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus. It is really meant to help us better understand what is happening in the community with the businesses directly. We are also working on research to ensure that we understand Simcoe County, the economy, and key sectors within the economy. I do want to note here that it has been or can be challenging to obtain some or certain types of data. The EDO has been working with Statistics Canada in conversation to try to obtain, in particular, export data for census metropolitan areas. It has been our understanding over the last several weeks they have not been able to fulfill any of the requests, but we understand that at the end of this week they should be opening up to more requests. So we're in communication with them, and we'll be following up to obtain further data that will help support our actions moving forward. We also, of course, are engaging with the Regional Economic Development Network and ensuring that we are best practice sharing, knowledge sharing, not duplicating efforts, and really building on together our efforts. The fourth area of focus there is business promotion, and this includes things like our Made in Simcoe County campaign that highlights local industry. It includes implementation of the Tourism Made in Simcoe County strategy. It also includes things like our Shop Local campaigns. The fifth area of focus is advocacy, another very important area of focus. We are working with key stakeholders and partners to advocate for certain things to all levels of government. This could include things such as programming or programs to support increased productivity in key sectors, funding for key assets in the region. It could be programs to support trade diversification and expanding to new markets. It could include financial tools to support businesses or things like expedited removal of interprovincial trade barriers. The sixth area, I'll just go back there. The sixth area of focus is economic development strategy, and really this is meant to ensure that we are coordinating and including the Tariff Action Plan as part of our 2025 work plan, but also want to make sure that as things change, policies change, as we know things change, seems to be a daily basis and sometimes hourly basis in this regard, that we can adjust as needed. So now I'll just quickly share a few of the activities that we have been working on and some of the results that we're seeing. Our tariff resource portal, which is again on the edo.simcoe.ca website, it includes a lot of different information. We have had close to 4,000 views since it launched, and we know that roughly 80% of the people who are visiting that site are interacting with it, which is a good sign, meaning that they're consuming the information that is on the website. The next thing I wanted to touch on was the Tariff Impact Survey. Some of the results that we're seeing through the survey include supply chain disruptions appear to be moderate so far from the respondents. Local businesses appear to be already considering their long-term strategies with respect to tariffs. It's been noted that largely this includes diversification of product offerings as well as new market expansions. We also asked on the survey what government supports might be most beneficial or most valued, and the majority of respondents to date have indicated that tax relief measures and direct financial assistance would be of the most benefit. So we will continue to monitor that survey and those responses, of course. We are looking at our strategy currently on how we move forward. It is currently open, but we may align as well with the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus and put a pause on the survey for a little bit and then reopen it again. But we're just in discussions now about how we move forward with that. So the next, I just wanted to share a few more items that we're working on as our last slide here. We continue to build on the Made in Simcoe County campaign, of course, marketing campaign, adding some new elements of pride to the videos that we have available and redeveloping some of those. Our LinkedIn marketing campaign received close to 160,000 impressions. This was a campaign that was targeted to local businesses to make them aware of the resources and the webpage that's available to them. We are also updating on a daily basis the website with any new information about resources, particularly any tariff-related webinars and information sharing sessions. We are also engaging several businesses in things and making available to them things like industry events, trade missions, and of course investment promotion wherever opportunities do align. And our teams continue to be involved in many discussions and participation in things like industry roundtables with member municipalities, Ontario Auto Mayors meetings, Automotive Parts Manufacturing Association briefings, Global Affairs briefings, Tourism Industry Association briefings. So there's several things that we are involved in. So that brings me to the end of the slide presentation. Again, thank you very much for the time. And If permissible, I'm happy to answer questions through you, your chair.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions on this item for Wendy? Yes, sorry, Councillor Bell.
Thanks, Wendy. That was great. I guess one of my questions, I think the Ontario government came down and they said that they wanted to make sure that other municipalities were following suit by not contracting U.S. companies to do work. I know that's not 100%. There's sometimes we have no choice. What steps are we taking? I mean, are we able to put a technical portion in there? I've always believed that we should give an advantage to local people paying local taxes and helping with infrastructure and DC charges. So how do we do that? How do we accomplish that without basically saying U.S. companies cannot bid on this?
Yeah, through you, your chair, I think the next item on the agenda might very well address this question.
Thank you. Through the chair. Great segue, Councillor. Thank you. Internally, so we're kind of dividing this into externally focused and internally focused. So externally focused, these are the plans that we have in place to assist businesses in our area to cope with this impact. Internally, we are following the lead of the province in terms of limiting the procurement that we're going to make with U.S. companies. That's what the report later on the agenda in the corporate performance section outlines. And we are going to follow that. There are going to be situations where, as you say, we don't really have a choice. And it's not like we're going to take agreements that we currently have and get out of them. That will cost us. So where we're renewing, where we've got opportunities, that's where we will look to minimize the business that we do with the United States at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions or comments? Seeing none, thank you very much. That was very helpful and look forward to hearing more. So the recommendation is that the recommendations contained within the Economic Development Subcommittee report dated April the 22nd, 2025 be approved. Are you moving, Councillor Cox, or did I skip you? Sorry, go ahead.
I just was, I wanted to bring forward some of the information in the Economic Development Subcommittee, and the main one was the Made in Simcoe County Tourism Strategy, sorry, which I think is very important, and I just wondered if Catherine Stevenson could give us a quick update so the rest of the world knows that we're really promoting our county and the different initiatives we have.
Ms. Stevenson?
Thanks very much through you, Madam Chair. Yeah, we're really excited to actually have a Made in Simcoe County strategy. As Wendy had mentioned, it started with economic development in manufacturing, and now it's grown into a tourism strategy. We are hot off the heels of our craft beverage strategy, which, as you know, we have over 34 craft beverage operations within the county. So the local product within Simcoe County has grown so much that we can promote, we can develop first and make sure that our products are market ready. And we can promote our own local Made in Simcoe County, not only locally, but beyond locally, as a unique product offering to bring visitors here to spend their money here. We do have everything from, you know, restaurants who serve local food, craft beverage, maple syrup, honey, coffee, chocolate. Like there's so much that perhaps the public is not aware that we have here. So it's our job to work really closely with our operators to develop these products and take them to market. Because between the Made in Simcoe product, the outdoor recreation, the culture product, I don't know why anyone else would want to visit anywhere else except Simcoe County.
Thank you so much. Councillor Evans.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate the opportunity. My comments and questions are with regards to item 7.3, which is economic development services, and it's kind of a learning curve for me, but also something I think I wanted to bring to the attention, not just of my lower tier council, but of the upper tier council. And I think I see a personally, I see a huge opportunity with the structure and the agreement that the town of Penetanguishene has initiated, and I applaud them on this. Just to bring you up to speed, I don't know if, just in case you haven't read it, like I didn't until last night, it's a memorandum of understanding between the county of Simcoe and the town of Penetanguishene to provide economic development services for the period from June 1st, 2025 to December 31st of 2025. And basically, if I can just nutshell it, is short-term support for defined economic development activities for the town of Penetanguishene, utilizing County of Simcoe resources and working together on a cost-sharing basis, the exact terminology being cost recovery basis, my problem. A memorandum of understanding between EDO services on a cost recovery basis. I know we've had, and I read in the paper that we've had agreements before, and I apologize. I know this is in the past, previous councils, and I'm just not aware of it. But we've had agreements with planning, and I know in Tiny, for instance, we worked with the Township of Tiny. We had an agreement with planning. I'm not privy to what that actual agreement was, but what I found really interesting with this memorandum of understanding is you've articulated, and I'm sorry, you as the general you, I'm not sure who exactly it is, the guidelines and the definition of what involvement in this program involves, down to even the hourly rate. The definition of the workload, the definition of how many days, and it's it's a great job, very detailed, very opportunity. I see a lot of really great opportunities here, not just for small townships or smaller, lower tier townships, but obviously I see a huge advantage here for us to utilize this, and this is why I'm bringing it forward. Firstly is obviously the cost efficiency. In the case of Penetanguishene, they're getting somebody for a day or 2 days a week, depending, not for the whole 5 days a week. So it fits into their budget, and it's very defined for them as a region. You're utilizing somebody in a county level that does this full time. And how do some of us go, and we're all having trouble hiring people and getting the expertise that's involved to do all these specific needs. Having somebody utilizing an essential base, not just getting somebody that can have them full-time, but that expertise that comes along with it, I think, is really worthwhile. Being able to adapt what you want for your township or your municipality. We're urban, we're rural, we're all different, and we should be different. That's why we're lower tier. We respond to but what services can we find that are analogous between upper and lower or other lower tier municipalities that we can capitalize on and gain synergies by combining costs and utilizing costs and providing better service. Regionally, it's great. So for instance, Penetang, Tiny, Tay, Midland, we're all North Simcoe. Obviously, we don't care if people know if they're in Tiny, well, I don't, Tiny, Penetang, or Tay. It's North Simcoe. We want, from a regional, if we're looking at EDO perspective, we want people to be able to come in and enjoy the area. And being able to work together as the needs transpire, I think is something that's really advantageous. I won't go on too long, but I am pretty excited about this. And the memorandum of understanding itself, unlike a contract where we're sort of tying ourselves in, and we are tying ourselves in, you have a contract, memorandum of understanding, as I mentioned, you have assigned dates, I just mentioned them, but there's a flexibility there that we can work together as a group and come up with an agreement that makes sense, both short-term and long-term. So, basically it doesn't work short-term because you're not going to take long-term, but you have the opportunity to test it out. So like Penetang's going to be able to test it out for the next 6 months and say, okay, does this work? And then put together something longer term. I'd hope longer term that you'd want to make it longer term from a staffing, and obviously you can understand you want a staffing perspective for the county and to minimize their costs. But I think there's great opportunities there. In some of the areas, like we talked about, well, we've got, of course, economic development. I mentioned planning services. Some of the other areas have, building inspection. I know that a couple of neighboring municipalities, we talked about combining building inspection, bylaw enforcement, IT and digital services are already somewhat, I know from our limited, that we combining some services with Tiny. HR functionality, HR is huge now, as you know, HNS, payroll, a lot of these things can be done, I think, in concert with upper and lower tier, and provide better services, work smarter, and spend less. And anytime I see this, and my background, I always look to see where we can get low-hanging fruit in terms of savings. And I see this as a huge opportunity. Procurement, we just talked about procurement and tariffs and having the expertise of somebody. We can't hire somebody to monitor tariffs on Tiny. We just don't have asset management. Well, with asset management, we did hire somebody. But it's, to have the working relationships, and of course, your tourism, your culture, and your recreation moving forward. So in a long-winded way, I want to, again, go back and applaud the Township of Penetanguishene. You've initiated something that I think is much larger than just the context of Penetanguishene and Simcoe. I'd like to see the memorandum of understanding process, I don't want to add more work, but formalized so that we can take it to our councils. I know, I didn't know about it. My council didn't know about it. I know, I'm sorry, and this is not causing blame or causing and I know in the report it said that we had been consulted on this, and perhaps my CIO didn't pass it along, but regardless, have this knowledge at a lower tier level that we can provide added services, but without having to incur the full-time FTE costs that go along with it. And again, improve service to our constituents at a lower cost. So my recommendation is my suggestion at this point, recommendation, no motion involved, but is that staff pursue other opportunities to be able to formalize this process. At the very least, for instance, when Penetanguishene was going through this process, to involve other municipalities that may be interested in it. And maybe I was remiss in not getting it. Not to say that we would have participated, but I think in numbers comes savings. And in the end of the day, that's exactly why we're here on so many levels, is the benefit of working collaboratively together with a diverse set of needs and requirements at a lower and upper tier level. So we can become a paradigm of municipal cooperation and again, make Simcoe better for everybody. So thank you, Chair. Sorry, very long-winded, but as you can tell, I'm kind of cranked about this, and I think that there's great opportunities, and I again applaud Penetang for bringing it forward, and I'm happy to blowhorn this for future development. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Huther.
Thank you very much. Through you, Madam Chair, to Councillor Evans. At the approved direction of the Economic Development Subcommittee, I just want to let you know we did meet with all 4 member municipalities in North Simcoe to discuss service delivery, and that we'd be happy to continue those discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Warden.
Sure, and not to put you on the spot, Nancy, but Honda did make the announcement this morning that they're delaying the EV plant for 2 years. Did you have, and I know you're probably scrambling now for direction, do you have any comments on that?
Nothing other than it's extremely unfortunate that the tariff situation has caused such uncertainty, and we're seeing the impacts of that as Ms. Tampano mentioned in terms of some of the survey feedback, but now this really temporary delay in terms of the significant investment by Honda in our community. It is a delay, and operations at the facility continue with current employment levels, so that is the good news. But we'll continue to work with Honda. We are engaged with them on an ongoing basis in terms of site planning work, workforce development work around the EV transition, and look forward to continuing to work with them for this significant investment in our community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you on that.
Thank you. Any other questions on Economic Development Committee? Councillor Norcross.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. I don't really have a question. I just want to make a statement and follow up what the director said. I have been speaking to Honda since the news was released, and I just want to assure this House and everybody that works there and the residents that Honda is committed to keeping the existing plant operational and running at the existing levels, and that they have openly said that, and they put that in their press release. So I just want to make sure that message gets out, because I'm sure everybody will be receiving messages as to the uncertainty or certainty of the jobs that are there in the spin-off industries. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Norcross. Anyone else have anything in regards to our Economic Development Subcommittee? Seeing none, can I ask for a mover and a seconder, please? So Councillor Evans and Councillor Norcross, that the recommendations contained within the Economic Development Subcommittee report dated April the 22nd, 2025 be approved. All those in favor? That is carried. Are there any other matters for consideration for corporate services today? Seeing none, I'll pass it back to you, Warden.
Thank you. We're still making great time, so I'm going to turn it over to Chair Evans for performance management, short discussion on tariffs.
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you, moving on to performance management, our consent items. Item number 11.1 is CCW 2025-125, Impact of Trade Tariffs and Counter Tariffs on County Procurement Activities Update. Can I have a mover and seconder for consideration, please? Councillor Walker and Councillor Laux, thank you very much. Any comments or questions on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor? Those opposed? Thank you very much. The item is carried. Brief for me today. Any other matters for consideration with performance management for April 22nd, 2025? We'll drag it out. And seeing none, I will pass it back to you, Warden. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair Evans. There's 2 items in camera. Does anybody feel the need to go in and discuss them? Pretty detailed reports. I'm not seeing any, so then I'll just read the motions that the committee of the whole, oh, I don't need that one. The direction in camera and recommendations contained within the confidential item CCW 2025-105 dated May 13, 2025 regarding a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land be approved and voted upon in accordance with section 239(6)B of the Municipal Act. Moved by Councillor Van Staveren, second by Councillor Sandu. All in favor? That is carried. And lastly, the direction in camera and recommendations contained within confidential item CCW 2025-130 dated May 13, 2025 regarding information explicitly supplied in confidence to a municipality or local board by Canada, a province or territory or crown agency of any of them be approved and voted upon in accordance with section 239(6)B of the Municipal Act. Moved by Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Michael Smith. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And now I look for a motion that the May 13, 2025 Committee of the Whole be adjourned at 10:12. Moved by Councillor Anderson, second by Councillor Fowler. All in favor? Thank you, everyone.